The status update is one of the most common things you'll do in American meetings. Most people give them too long. Some people are too vague. Today, I'm showing you a simple three-part structure that makes yours clear, professional, and just the right length every time. How to give a clear status update. Stand-up meetings, weekly syncs, project check-ins. These are where status updates live, and they happen constantly in American workplaces. The pressure of giving a good update is real. You want to show that you're making progress. You don't want to sound like you're making excuses if something's behind, and you're not sure of how much detail to include. Too little, and it seems like you haven't done anything. Too much, and you've taken up 5 minutes of people's time when 30 seconds would have been enough. And for non native speakers, there's an extra layer. You're often translating not only language, but expectations. In some workplace cultures, giving a thorough, detailed status update shows diligence. In American stand ups, that same level of detail sounds like someone who's unable to communicate efficiently. I'm Nicole. I spent over 12 years in American corporations and more than 14 years teaching English internationally. Today, I'm giving you a structure and phrases for status updates that are clear, concise, and professional in any meeting. This video is about content and context. Content, the specific phrases for each part of a good update. Context, understanding what American meetings expect from a status update and why brevity signals competence, not laziness. Let's start with the structure. Every strong status update has three parts. Part 1, what you've done. This is about 1 to 2 sentences. What did you complete or progress on since the last update? Part 2, where are you now? This should be about 1 sentence, at most 2. Are you on track, ahead, or behind? Part 3, what's next or what's blocking you? Again, this should be 1 to 2 sentences. What's coming up, and do you need anything from the team? And that's it. 3 parts, about 4 to 6 sentences total. Here's what it looks like when it goes wrong, and what it looks like when it goes right. Here's what a typical, overly long, unfocused status update sounds like.
Quick update on the Henderson project.
Sure. So I've been working on the Henderson project since last Tuesday. We originally had a scope that included 3 deliverables, but then the client came back and added a 4th, which meant I had to go back and restructure some of the work I'd already done. I've been in communication with the design team and we've been going back and forth a bit about the timeline. I think we're mostly on track, but there are some dependencies that might be an issue. I'm hoping to have more clarity by end of week.
That update is over a minute long, very hard to follow, and the most important information, the dependency issue, got buried at the end. Now, here's the same project update with the 3-part structure.
Quick update on the Henderson project.
I've completed deliverables 1 through 3 and restructured the scope to include the 4th the client added. I'm on track for the Friday deadline, but I have one dependency on the design team I want to flag. I need their final assets by Wednesday or the timeline slips. Can we confirm that today?
The same project, the same situation, but a completely different impression. The second update is about 30 seconds long, covers everything relevant, and ends with a clear ask. Special situation 1, when you don't have an update. Sometimes you genuinely don't have an update because nothing has changed since the last check-in. This happens, and it's fine. What's not fine is going silent or giving a vague non-answer. Here's what you can say. No significant changes since last update. We're still on track for whatever the next deadline is. There's nothing to flag. That's it. It's short, it's clear, and professional. It shows that you're aware of your status even when nothing has changed. Special situation 2, when you have a problem to flag. The harder situation. Something has gone wrong or you're behind, and you need to flag it in a group setting without sounding like you're making excuses. The structure. State the situation, name the impact, and, if possible, propose a path forward. Here's what you can say. I want to flag that, name the situation. This means, name the impact. I'm, state what you're doing about it, or state what you need. Here's how it sounds in a meeting.
Update on the onboarding module.
I want to flag that the vendor hasn't delivered the final content yet, which puts us 3 days behind schedule. I've followed up twice and I'm waiting on a response. I may need to escalate. Can I loop you in if I don't hear back by tomorrow?
Yes, copy me on your next message to them.
You stated the problem, you've explained the impact, you've told them what you've done, and you've asked for what you need. You don't give excuses or an over-explanation. You simply give the information that the team needs to help you move forward. Phrase power. Today we're practicing, I want to flag the, and name the situation. Because flagging a problem in a meeting is one of the things that people dread the most. And the right phrase makes it significantly less uncomfortable. I want to flag that and name the situation. Let's break it down. I want to flag that. This phrase signals that what follows is important and worth the group's attention. Flag is common business language in the American workplace. It means I'm raising this intentionally, not just mentioning it in passing. I want to flag that what follows is the situation explained plainly without hedging. For example, I want to flag that the vendor hasn't responded. The full phrase in context. I want to flag that, name the situation. This means, name the impact. I'm, what you're doing about it. Here's how it sounds.
Any blockers before we move on?
I want to flag that I'm waiting on approval from legal before I can move to the next phase. I've submitted the request. I just want to make sure the team knows this is a dependency.
This is calm, it's clear, and professional. Practice stating the situation plainly, without softening or over-apologizing. The phrase does the diplomatic work for you. Common mistakes. 3 mistakes I see most often with status updates. Mistake number 1, starting with context instead of content. So as you know, we've been working on this project since Q1, and originally the scope was, no one asked for the history. It's not necessary. Start with what you've done. Only give the context if it's essential to understanding the update. Mistake number 2, burying the important information. If there's a problem or a dependency or a risk, state it early. Saving it for the end of a long update means that half of the room has checked out before they hear the most important part. Mistake number 3, not having a clear ask. If you need something from the team, a decision, a resource, a confirmation, say so explicitly at the end of your update. I need X by Y is much clearer than hoping that someone will offer. American workplaces expect you to ask directly for what you need. Before your next status update, write it out using the 3-part structure. Part 1, what I've done. Part 2, where I am now. And Part 3, what's next or what's blocking me. Aim for about 4 to 6 sentences total. If you find yourself going longer, cut. If you have something blocking you that you need to flag, use the phrase, I want to flag that, name the situation. This means, name the impact. I'm, what you're doing about it. Try it once and notice how the room responds to a shorter, cleaner update. Thank you so much for watching. You're 8 videos in, and you are building a complete toolkit for American meetings. Next week, what to do after the meeting ends, how to write a professional follow-up, how to track what you're committed to, and how to ask for clarification about something you're not sure of without it being awkward. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you next Tuesday.